Hello, and welcome to another Health Essentials podcast. I'm John Horton, your host. Coloring with crayons is a fabulous activity for kiddos. It can improve their fine motor skills and dexterity while inspiring creativity. Artistic playtime, though, also can make children pretty hungry. And what could look more appetizing than French fry-sized sticks in a rainbow of candy colors? Let's face it, kids eat odd things, including crayons. So is that nibbling a cause for concern? That's what we're going to find out today from pediatrician Lisa Diard. She is one of the many experts at Cleveland Clinic who join our weekly podcast to share tips to keep your family healthy and safe. So with that in mind, let's see if crayons qualify as toxic trouble. Welcome to the podcast, Dr. Diard. Thanks for popping in to chat.
Thank you, John, for having me.
Well, as anyone with kids knows, they will eat anything. True story here. I called poison control years ago after my daughter decided to chew on one of those silica gel packs out of a box of new shoes. I'm guessing I am not alone in that sort of parental experience.
Absolutely not. Many common household things look like candy to children. We hear this multiple times in a week.
Why is that with kids? I mean, it's like a crazy thing. Everything with them just kind of seems to go into their mouth. Why do they have to taste everything?
Well, especially for children less than 3 years old, it's the way they explore their environment. They size objects up by putting it in their mouth.
Well, I know I spent enough of my kids' childhood fishing things out to know that is definitely true.
Yeah.
Our topic today is on crayons, kind of those mainstays of the art cart. Let's get right to the big question. Are they harmful if kids eat them?
Not really, John. Crayons are non-toxic to children. That is to say, they won't cause maybe some stomach aches, but in general, they are not toxic. They can pose a choking risk, so I would advise any parent of a young child, especially less than 4, to supervise their child while they're using these crayons, but they are not harmful if eaten.
Well, that is very good news because as we've already covered, kids, they put everything in their mouths.
Right.
I do know, yeah, if you go to parenting sites and you look online and you read some really scary stuff as far as people being worried about them. So let's kind of go over some of the main concerns. And one of those that I've seen shared is that crayons, one of their main ingredients is paraffin wax, which is a byproduct of petroleum, coal, or oil shale. Is that something that people should be concerned about?
Like you said, it's a byproduct. It's through the purification of oil that they obtain the wax, and it's in very small amounts, and it does not really pose a harm to children. It's not like drinking gasoline. The toxins in paraffin are very, very minimal.
Well, that's good news because you hear those sort of things and you get hyper worried about stuff. So I guess it sounds like it's such a small amount. There's really nothing to be overly concerned with.
Correct.
One of the other things that came up on the worry list was lead. Is that an issue?
So not really. Lead is everywhere in our environment. We all get exposed to lead on a daily basis. And it requires a certain amount of lead to cause problems. And crayons have actually been studied. And the exposure to a child over time, the amount of lead in a crayon is not enough to cause harm. In fact, if you buy crayons, you should look for a seal of approval on the box. It's ACMI, Arts and Creative Materials Institute. And in the center, it'll have AP, which means approved product, non-toxic, not enough lead to cause harm.
Well, that's a great tip. And It sounds like overall, I mean, unless your kid is eating crayons like it's a buffet line, it sounds like you're not going to have much to worry about.
You are right. And I think it's important to have a parent supervise the child.
Oh, you got to keep eyes on them as much as possible. So if you are watching them and you see that they start nibbling on the green or the yellow or the red crayons, they're kind of gobbling down the rainbow there. What should you do right after that happens?
So the most common problem that can happen is their stomach will get upset. So I just suggest let them have a little bit of water, a light snack to help with their tummy upset, and wait and see what happens.
Is there also, I saw where crayons might also have a laxative effect. So is that something you should be watching out for if you're a parent?
Yes, in certain amounts, it can act as a laxative as well. So you might want to stay home and, keep an eye on them.
If too many of those colors are gone, you might want to keep close to the bathroom for a little bit.
You are right.
Now, you had mentioned that seal of approval a minute or so ago.
Mhm.
If you're concerned about your child eating kind of regular crayons, I mean, just those boxes you see everywhere, there are other options you could look to, correct?
Absolutely. There are crayons that are made from beeswax or soy wax that has no potential toxins at all. These crayons are easy to find. They're readily available, especially online.
Oh, that's great. Although if they keep making crayons out of things that sound tasty, I understand why they're eating them.
Yes, you are right.
Well, Dr. Diard, you've given us some great information as far as whether you need to worry about crayons and what you can do if you want to make sure that everything is about 100% safe as you can get. Before we say our goodbyes, though, is there anything else you'd like to add regarding crayons or kids just eating weird stuff in general?
Well, I think that probably the most important, especially when you have toddlers, is to keep any materials out of their reach so that, they're safe, and to supervise them when you're using those materials. So even crayons might not be toxic, but again, like anything, they could be a choking hazard.
And I'm guessing too that if your kid does eat something that you're not sure about, you should probably reach out to somebody just to make sure.
Correct. I would advise the parents to call poison control immediately, as they have a database of all common and not so common items that are in the home, and they can advise the parent exactly what to do. And we wouldn't even want the parent to cause their child to vomit, do nothing, call poison control.
I know when our kids were little, my wife and I, we had the poison control number on our fridge. And like I said, it came in handy for me that once. And my daughter, I found her with a kind of a chewed up bag of silica gel. And
Yes.
you get a little scared at that moment.
Yes, I agree. Absolutely. Poison control. And now it's on the parents' speed dial in their cell phone.
That's always great. And in case you don't have it on there, the number for the U.S. National Poison Control Center is 1-800-222-1222. I should have it memorized by now, given having that many kids, but it's always good to have it around.
Yes.
All right. Well, Dr. Diard, I appreciate you coming in today, and thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, John.
Should kids eat crayons? Absolutely not. They're an art supply, not a snack item. But if they do nibble on one of those picture-making sticks, don't panic. Crayons are not considered hazardous. In the end, they should be fine, and you'll definitely have a colorful parenting story to share. Till next time, be well.